Welcome to the Time Out for Weight Loss podcast. My name is Angela, and thank you for coming and spending a little time out with me today. On this podcast, we like to look at the health and wellness journey from different angles and different perspectives. And the past couple of weeks, we've had some amazing guests who shared their journeys, whether it be including their mental health, whether it be running, whether it be their faith, whether it be their love of dancing and lifestyle, whether it's from being a busy mum or a career woman. So many different aspects we've looked at the journey from, and we have lots more interviews lined up for you over the next couple of weeks, all with amazing individuals, men and women. However, today, guys, I'm running solo. I have no guest. I've got a fantastic topic for you today. So this topic that I'm going to discuss with you, I'm going to share with you, is something that comes up a lot. I've been a health, wellness and weight loss coach for the past 6 years, and I don't think a week has gone by without this topic coming up in some form or other. And I just thought it's something that I really wanted to touch on today, if nothing else, to reassure you and help build your confidence and your self-belief on your journey. And the topic that I'm going to talk about is around a question. And the question is, my weight loss is slow. Why is it so slow? So without any further ado, let's get straight into this topic. So I don't know if this is a question that you've asked yourself. You may be on your health and weight loss journey, and you're looking at that scale, you're looking at the number, and it might be a pound a week, may even be half a pound a week or less than that. You may be measuring it on a fortnightly basis or on a monthly basis, and you're like, well, why am I not losing more? And we may even start comparing ourselves to other people. We're seeing other people on the similar journey as us. They may be on the same plan or the same program. They may be losing a lot more than us. They may be the same size as us. They may be smaller than us. But we look at our results and we just get so frustrated as to why we're not losing more weight. It's a question that I've asked myself many times on my journey over the years, and it may be something that you have asked yourself too. So let's explore this a little bit. So my first question would be, what does healthy weight loss look like? Well, the answer to that is it's going to be different for everybody because, well, we're all different, aren't we? We're all different heights and different weights. We're different sizes. We have different metabolism. We have different health levels. I recently saw a post where, and again, this is a common post that I see, where a woman was saying that she'd only lost a pound that week where her husband had lost 3. And she found it really frustrating. They were doing exactly the same things. They were going out for walks and exercising together. She was cooking the meals, that were eating exactly the same meals and exactly the same portion sizes. And she couldn't understand why she'd only lost a pound and her husband had lost more. So there are so many different factors as to why somebody can lose more weight than us. One being, in that scenario, that was her husband. And men tend to generally be bigger, if even not even necessarily heavier, but generally they may be taller, bigger. They are likely to have a very different metabolism. They're just different to a woman, and we're not like for like. If you take two men, also they're going to be very different in height, weight, build, metabolism, health. The same as you take two women. They may be exactly the same height and weight, but again, they're still very different. So normal for one person is going to be very different to another. But and if you've ever listened to any of my podcasts, you'd know I have a frustration with the weight loss industry, because I believe that this anxiety and this frustration with how much we've lost or how much we haven't lost has come from the industry. And we see so many posts and so many products telling us that we could lose so much weight in a short period of time. We have, I recently seen a post that said you could lose a stone in a month. And I'm like, okay, that might be for one individual. I'm not saying that can't happen, but that might work for a particular person and a particular body type, a body shape, but it's not going to work for everyone. What that post didn't tell us was who that person was, whether they were male or female, whether they were short in stature or a 6-7 footer. They didn't, not that there's many 7-foot people, but you know what I mean? You could be comparing it to somebody who's 4'5" to somebody who is 6'9". It does make a difference. It didn't tell us whether that person had a stone to lose, 14 pounds to lose, or whether they had 20 stone to lose, 280 pounds. It didn't tell us any of that. It didn't tell us the health of those individuals, whether they were fit and healthy, whether they were young and energetic, or whether they had health conditions, whether they were disabled, whether they had were on medication. It didn't tell us any of that. What the headlines was that if you take this product, then you can lose 14 pounds a stone in a month. And that's not uncommon. We see the industry promoting fast weight loss. And we can then start to internalize that and want that fast weight loss. And when we don't get it, we're thinking that there's something wrong with us, that we're doing something wrong, that we're broken. And I'm here to tell you today that it's not your fault. It's not your fault that you have these high expectations to lose weight. These are often things that the weight loss industry puts on us and makes us believe. And then it causes that whole internal turmoil for us. Remember back in the day, maybe about 15 years ago, and I did a weight loss program where I was promised really fast weight loss. So that's what I did. I signed up for this program, and it was a liquid diet program, and I did nothing but 3 or 4 shakes every day. Now, I will tell you, the weight literally fell off me. It fell off, and I lost a stone, 14 pounds in, I think it was 3.5, 4 weeks. So yes, it is possible. Was I happy? Hell no. I was miserable as anything. I was just having these shakes and lots of water. I was looking at food. I was craving food. I was absolutely starving. I was miserable. I couldn't drink alcohol. It limited my ability to go out and socialise with family and friends. It was the worst time of my life. And I remember this one day, I was so hungry. I'd lost about a stone at the time and I was so hungry. I looked in my cupboard and I was like, I've got to eat something. And I had a tin of mixed beans. Yes, mixed beans. And I opened this tin and I drained it and I thought I'll just have 2 or 3 spoonfuls. And I did. But it didn't stop there. I ended up eating this whole tin, a whole tin of mixed beans. But then it didn't stop there. Then I opened the tuna and I ate a whole tin of tuna because in my head I was thinking, okay, I'm not supposed to eat on this program, but I'm hungry. So having tuna and having the mixed beans and then the tin of tuna, that's still healthy. But then it didn't stop there. I raided the cupboards and I raided the fridge and I just couldn't stop eating. So yes, I lost a stone in a month, but what happened? I put all of it back on and some within about 3 to 4 weeks. All of that weight was back on. So it really taught me a lesson that sometimes the glamour of fast weight loss comes with major consequences. And these consequences wasn't just about putting the weight back on, but it was also damaging my health too. So yeah, the weight loss industry gets us into this sense of whatever we're doing, it's not enough. There's a better way and a different way, and we should all be going for fast weight loss. One of my guests, Carolyn, who was a guest on the podcast, I think it was in week 3, she shared with us that she had lost 4 stone in, was it 4 stone? Yeah, I think it was 4 or 5 stone in a year. She'd lost a lot of weight in a year. And again, same thing. She put that weight back on. She put it on and some. And just thinking back to Carolyn's story, I mean, if you've not listened to it, please go back and have a listen to it at some point. But it's a fascinating story. She had gone for fast weight loss. And I remember she said what she realized was that fast weight loss, whilst it was amazing to be losing consistently every week and, you know, getting nice and slim and losing all this weight, she said she didn't learn anything about healthy living and healthy eating. What she learned was how to lose weight fast. She didn't learn anything about healthy eating and living a healthy and sustainable lifestyle. And I think that was just so poignant. But yes, the weight loss industry makes us want to lose weight really fast. So when we end up with half a pound weight loss a week or a pound a week, we feel that it's not enough and we want more, because of all these images and the messages that we're getting from the industry. But what is a healthy weight loss? What is a healthy rate? Well, when you look at the medical profession, lots of the medics, even a lot of the weight loss programs themselves, when you look at the NHS here in the UK or any reputable medical professional or weight loss program, they will all tell you that it's between half a pound to 2 pounds a week. That is a healthy rate. And that is an average. And sometimes as a weight loss coach, what I see is people thinking, if half a pound to 2 pounds a week is a healthy rate, I'm going to go for 2 pounds a week. But it doesn't work like that. That 2 pounds a week is an average. It's just an average. So what that may mean is that over the course of a year, when you look at your weight losses, it'll average out to between £0.5 and £2 a week. So rather than consistently going for £2 a week, that's hard. And I don't know anybody that can consistently lose £2 a week every week. There's going to be some weeks where you don't lose anything at all. There's going to be some weeks where you lose £0.5. Some weeks you may even lose £3 or £4. And then other weeks you don't lose anything at all. But when you look at your overall average, the medical profession and even the weight loss industry tells us that it should average to between £0.5 and £2 a week. So when we get that understanding, it can then help us to think that when we look at the average over a period of time, we can then measure to see whether we're on course rather than going for a number every single week. It's also important to remember that when we're losing high numbers, £2 a week over a long period of time, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. But what we can do on those weeks where we're seeing those numbers dip, and some people weigh themselves weekly or fortnightly or monthly, whatever rate you weigh yourself, then it's always remembering, well, if I'm not seeing that number that I want, what healthy habits am I putting in place that's going to help me develop sustainable, healthy weight loss results for the future? So, yes, sometimes it's about taking that number, taking the eye off the scale, and then thinking about what are the healthy habits that I could put in place that can help me reach that goal, but in a healthy and sustainable way long term. So, what does normal weight loss look like? What does that mean to you? I'd love for you to drop a comment in the comment section below. What does normal weight loss look like for you? It's going to be different for everybody. But as a coach, I really encourage people to focus in on healthy habits that's going to be sustainable. So let me just share with you my average. So if you've ever listened to any of my podcasts or seen my YouTube videos, you will know that to date I have lost £131. So that's over 9 stone in weight. Now, people often ask me, well, how long has it taken you to lose that? And a lot of people are quite surprised when I say that to date it's taken me 5 years and 10 months. And they're often quite surprised that it's taken me that long. And my response to them is, I'm really glad. I'm really, really happy that it's taken me that long. Now, some people, because of their makeup, because of their lifestyle, because of, who they are, some people can lose 9 stones in 9 months, or 9 stones in a year, or 9 stones in 2 years. But for me, it's taken 5 years and 10 months, nearly 6 years to lose that. And I'm really pleased about that. My average, when I work out my average is less than £0.5 a week. In fact, the last time I worked it out, it was something like £0.3 a week. That's my average, less than £0.5. And I'm really pleased it's been like that, because when I started my journey, I was going for that fast weight loss. I wanted to lose all my excess weight in the shortest time possible. But what I realised was it wasn't sustainable. I'd lost 4 stone, about 4 stone at the start of my journey, and then COVID hit. And what happened? My weight slowly crept back on. Why? Why did it creep back on? Well, just like in Carolyn's story 3 weeks ago, I had learned how to lose weight fast. I'd learned how to lose it quickly. I'd learned how to restrict to get that weight loss. Was I happy? No. Was I eating healthily? Yes, I was doing a healthy eating program, but I had learnt to restrict. I'd often have a blowout after weigh day and then restrict right across the week, eating very little up until my weigh day, my next weigh day. So I'd learnt that. And then when COVID hit and my routine was out of sync, what happened? Weight went back on. So after COVID, I had my epiphany and I put a number of things in place to help me to lose that weight, lose it consistently, but to lose it healthily. And some of those things very quickly. If you want to hear my whole story, then go and listen to podcast episode number 1, where I go through my whole journey. But what happened in a nutshell was I stopped weighing myself because those scales were tripping me up. I stopped weighing myself on a weekly basis, and I went to, the first time I stopped weighing myself, I didn't weigh myself for 9 weeks. And I got on the scale and I'd lost 16 pounds. Now, I'd lost 16 pounds, not because not because I'd stopped weighing myself, but in that time, in those 9 weeks, I wasn't focused in on the scale. I was focused in on healthy habits and healthy living. I was learning about food that was going to support my body. I was eating food mindfully. I started practicing portion control. I also started practicing intermittent fasting, which is a whole different topic and something that I will do a podcast on it at some point, because I just think it's not a diet, it's a way of eating. I love it. Absolutely love it. Started doing that, but also I started moving my body when I can. I do have lots of health challenges, so there are times that I can be limited, but when I could, I would move my body. Started drinking lots of water, focusing on my sleep, and also paying huge attention to self-care. So I started doing all of those things and started to change my view and my perspective of my weight loss journey. And once I started focusing in on those things, started to see results. And results that have been consistent and sustainable. And since I've started measuring my success in a different way, focusing on my mindset, I now weigh myself about once a month. I have August 2022 I had an epiphany. And since August 2022, I have lost every single month apart from 1 month where I've stayed the same. But I've consistently lost. And that's because I've re-educated myself around my weight loss, but also about not getting caught up in the industry standards about fast weight loss, but rather going for sustainable weight loss, lifelong weight loss. So yeah, it really makes me quite sad when I hear people as a coach, but also when I see posts on social media where people are so frustrated and upset as to why they've not lost more weight. And it's not you. It's not you. If you are losing weight, no matter what rate it's at, whether it's a pound on a regular basis, £1 a week, £1 a month, whether it's £0.5 or like me, sometimes even £0.25, it's still weight loss. It's still weight loss. So don't go into restriction mode, but focus in on good habits and lots of self-care. So one of the key things that I have seen that really sabotages people on their weight loss journey, myself included at the start of my journey, the number one thing, the top thing that really sabotages people, that make people frustrated, makes them upset, make them give up, is the scales. That hunk of junk, that box of metal, that innate object is the number one sabotage that I've seen on people's journey. The scales will give you a number. It'll give you a number of what you weigh in that moment. And I once did an experiment and I weighed myself 3 times in half an hour, and each time I got different results. So the first time I got on the scale that day, it was just before I had a bath. I got weighed, got a number. Then I had a bath, dried off, got on the scale again, got a different number. And then I had a glass of water, weighed myself, got a different number. And that for me was a massive turning point. It made me realise just how unreliable the scales are as a measure of success. The scales is a number in time. But what the scales didn't tell me was how I was feeling, what progress I'd made. It didn't tell me other factors like my health. It didn't tell me whether my blood sugars were raised or at a good level. It didn't tell me about my cholesterol, whether that was right. It didn't tell me if my blood pressure was at a good rate. All of these things I'd been working on, in terms of getting my activity up, managing all those healthy fats, watching what I was eating, making sure I'm eating well. It didn't tell me any of that. It didn't tell me what mood I was in, whether I was feeling pleased with myself, whether I was feeling happy, whether I was feeling down. It didn't tell me anything about my mental state. It didn't tell me anything about my physical state. It didn't tell me about my relationships. It didn't tell me about me. All it told me was, at this moment in time, in this 2 minutes, or not even that, in this 30 seconds that you have stepped on the scale, this is how much you weigh. Now, don't ever want to underestimate the value of the scales, because it can be an indicator of health. So we know that I know that when I was at my heaviest, I suffered with some terrible health conditions. So as I've reduced my weight, my health conditions has improved, some of them, such as my diabetes. So it's not something that we can totally rule out, but it's something that needs to be put in perspective. Getting our weight and understanding where the scales fit on the journey is so important, really important. So getting the scales in perspective is really important. So guys, I'd love just to take a moment just to share a little advert with you. So we are looking to grow our channel, both here on YouTube, A Time Out with Angela, and also on Spotify. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, feel free to do so. If you're listening to this on YouTube, feel free to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, then please give us a follow. And in either case, please leave a comment. Your comments really make a difference. It just helps the algorithm to recognize that you're enjoying this podcast, and it will put it out to more people. So please feel free to give us a like and leave a comment. Other ways that you can support us is by supporting us financially. So with any financial donation that you provide and you support us with, it'll be going to grow the channel, to invest in equipment so that we can bring you better quality. So different ways that you can do that. You can join our membership on YouTube at Time Out with Angela, or also on Patreon, also a Time Out with Angela. And there's 2 different levels there, starting at $1.99 for our silver membership or $4.99 for our gold membership. Feel free to nip over there and check us out. You could also choose to buy me a coffee or leave us a donation on PayPal. Any donation that you make will be gratefully received. But you don't have to. You don't have to support us financially. Just by listening to our content right to the end really does make a difference. And if you could share this podcast episode with someone who you think may appreciate hearing from us or who may enjoy the episode, that will also make a huge difference. Please feel free to follow us over on Instagram and also on Facebook at Time Out with Angela. I'm also a TikToker. You can find me there too. And join our Facebook group on join our Facebook group on Facebook. Yeah, that's right. Join the Facebook group on Facebook because we run challenges in the private Facebook group. So feel free to come over there and join us. Now, I know that was a lot of information that I gave you, but no worries. I will drop links in the comment section below. So do feel free to check us out. So this week, I would like to give a further shout out to our supporters, which are Diane, Horatio, and Tony. Your support really does make all the difference to us. It's going to help us to invest in equipment and software to grow the channel and improve our quality. So thank you, a huge thank you to you. So back to the podcast. So guys, what are some strategies to help move you forward if you are feeling that your weight loss isn't quick enough? Well, my number one strategy is to really take some time and think about your self-care. Instead of thinking about the scales not moving fast enough, then focusing on other measures of success. Think about how you feel about yourself. Try on some clothes that maybe you didn't fit a while ago, or maybe fit but was a little bit snug. Try some clothes on. Are they feeling a little bit looser? That's a fantastic measure of success. I know for me, I absolutely love that. I love delving into my closet and pulling out clothes that was really tight, and now they're just that little bit looser. I love that. And if I go shopping and I see a bargain, and if it's a size smaller, I'll buy it and I'll just keep it in my wardrobe, and a few months later try it on. And I did that with a dress that I bought a couple of weeks ago, and it was just a little tight on the bust and on the hips, and it's now, it's not completely comfortable, but I can see that it's getting much more comfortable. So little things like that are great measures of success. Maybe get your measuring tape out and measure your body as well. But again, take those measurements and measure them maybe in 6 months or in a year's time and see your progress. Something like that can take a little bit of time to see results. Other measures that I absolutely love is focusing on your health. Has your health improved? You know, do you have those regular checkups with your doctor? If you're diabetic, suffering with high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, are those measures improving? That's a great way to measure that success. Also, your fitness levels. Are you able to move that little bit more? I remember at the very start of my journey, I really struggled to get up the stairs in my house. I really struggled. And I was out of breath. I felt like I needed an oxygen tank at the top. But now, these days, I can get up so much easier. Also, when I started my journey, I really struggled to leave my house and get to the end of the grove. It was a real struggle. And now I can do it with ease. I can do it without even thinking. Again, great measures of success. Are you able to bend over and tie your shoelaces? I remember a client of mine said the once that for her that was a massive NSV because she could now bend over and tie her shoelaces on her own without the belly getting in the way. Fantastic measure of success. There are so many different things. What's personal to you? What is it that you would like to see as an improvement? Write those down and keep measuring those. And those are some great strategies to help us take the focus off the scale for a little bit, to not get downhearted by that loss. But also, and that's really important, because sometimes we may not have lost a great deal on the scale, but our body may have changed. We may be gaining muscle, gaining leaner muscle. We may be gaining fitter or stronger, may be able to walk that little bit further. So all of those things are great measures. It's not just the scale. But also, we know that when we focus in on our mindset and we start thinking positively and doing things that's going to have a positive impact on our lives, over time, it adds up. And for myself and a lot of the clients that I coach, when we focus in on building a positive mindset, everything is possible. And again, I know that if you listen to episode 2 with our great guest Sherry, episode 3 with Sheila, episode 4 with Carolyn, and also last week with V, every single one of them stressed how important developing a positive mindset was for them, because they recognize that wellness, and V said this last week, wellness looks different for everybody. Weight loss is going to be different for everybody. So we need to just find our normal, rather than thinking, I want £1 a week off or £2 a week off. Think about what is your normal. What is your body capable of doing? What self-care can you focus in on, and what healthy habits can you build on so that you have a healthy mindset as well as a healthy weight loss journey? So guys, I hope that topic will be of interest to you, because as I said, it's something that I see all the time. It's something I did, something I said, something I felt, and I know it's something that a lot of my clients still experience these days, this feeling of frustration and disappointment that they haven't lost more weight. So yeah, I hope this has been of value to you. I've mentioned coaching a couple of times. I am a coach. I am a weight loss coach. I have been coaching clients for over 6 years, and I have a coaching program. So if this is something you want to know a little bit more about, then do drop me a message and I will send you details of my coaching program. It's a one-to-one coaching program where I help you build strategies and provide accountability for you as you take responsibility on your weight loss journey. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, I will drop a link below. I've also got my first ebook out, which is all about recipes if you're into making smoothies and juices, which it's such an integral part of my health and wellness and weight loss journey. So that is available, and I will also drop a link in the comment box, or rather in the description box below. So guys, that's it for me. So stay tuned. But guys, also, if you have a story around your health and wellness and weight loss and you'd love to come and share it with the world, then do reach out to me. And remember, you don't have to have lost huge amounts of weight. It could be that you focus in, like with our lovely guest Sherry on the first week, she's focused in on her mental health and how her mental health is, how that has been so important to her on her journey, and her focus really is about keeping and staying well. We also had Sheila talking about her faith and how her faith is helping her on her journey on a daily basis. We talked with Carolyn, who talks about her gym journey and how working out is helping her each day to get to a goal. And of course, V, who talked about how being a mum and a wife and balancing all of that is and she shares how she is managing her journey with that. So we're looking at it from different angles and different perspectives. You don't have to have had a huge weight loss journey. So if it's been your goal or your dream to appear on a podcast, then I would love for you to be a guest. So feel free to reach out to me. Okay, guys, that is it from me for now, and I look forward to being with you next week. Have an amazing week, and remember, if you think you can, or if you think you can't, guess what? You're absolutely right. Take care now.